Don't I look fabulous? I mean, doesn't my necklace look fabulous? This is a little piece that I call Fantasia. You can make it as a necklace, which is the one that I'm wearing, or you can make it as a bracelet. And I think it's a really great beginner project because it's fast and not too difficult. And of course it's all crystal, and so it's got lots and lots of sparkle. So if you make this like as a gift for somebody, they're going to be completely blown away. So let me show you how you get started making this. We are going to start by making a circle using the 4mm bicone crystals and some size 11 seed beads here. You're going to pick up one of each, and you're going to repeat that 4 times so that you have 4 of each. So crystal seed bead, that's 2. Crystal, come on buddy. Seed bead, that's 3. Crystal and seed bead, and that's 4. You'll bring those down so that you have about a 4 to 6 inch tail below them, enough to weave in later. You're going to pass back through all the beads again. I think I'm about to get lucky and be able to get this all through in one pass, but don't let it worry you if you end up having to pass through a couple of beads and pull your thread and pass through the next couple of beads. That's normal. So here you can see that this still doesn't make a circle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going past my tail, and I'm going to go through a crystal and a seed bead. I want to be coming out of one of the seed beads, and it does not matter which one. But by going past my tail, now that's turned into this nice little circle. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a series of these units the length of our bracelet. This seed bead is going to be shared with the next unit. So that means when I go to pick up my crystal and my seed bead, I'm going to pick up 4 crystals, but only 3 seed beads because this guy's already there. So I'll pick up a crystal and a seed bead. That's 1. Crystal and a seed bead, and that's 2. Crystal and a seed bead, that's 3. And then I only need 1 more crystal. So that's my 4th crystal. There's my extra 4th seed bead. So we're going to pass back through that same seed bead. And now we've got the 2 units sitting side by side. But I want to be able to grow up here, so that means I'm going to need to pass through beads to get to this outside tip. And don't be afraid, I'm going to actually flip this over so that the direction that I'm going is on the right hand side so I can get the angle on it better. There's no reason why you can't flip this back and forth. So I'm just passing through the crystals and the seed beads until I have passed through the tip seed bead. Then let me make 1 more unit here. So it's the same thing. This is going to be shared with the next unit. So we'll pick up a crystal and a seed bead, crystal and a seed bead, crystal and a seed bead, and then a 4th crystal. There we go. Pass back through the seed bead that's already there. And then you want to get to the outside edge. So I'll pass through the beads so none of my thread is showing, like that. Okay, so you're going to want to do this to get your length right. Let's talk about how you're gonna do that sizing. It's gonna depend a little bit on what kind of clasp you're using. If you're using a clasp that came with a Jill Wiseman Designs kit, I can tell you that clasp is going to add just a hair bit under 1.5 inches to your finished piece. So this is one of the other colorways that we have available in a kit, and when this is all clasped, and if you measure this from here to here, that's just under 1.5 inches. So you need to take that into account when you're making the center pass. Each one of these units, center units, is about 0.35 inches. So you can add them up as you go along, plus then add in the amount of your clasp, and that can give you an idea. Now here's the other way that you can check it out. This particular piece happens to fit me perfectly. Let me kind of show you what the sizing is on this. So because I know that this is about 1.5 inches here, I can kind of eyeball that. Oops, let me show you, get it closer on the monitor here. I can kind of eyeball that a little bit and know, okay, basically the base of my hand here is where I need it to get to, and the remainder will be my clasp. Here's the thing, if you end up making it a little bit too long, switch out what kind of clasp you were going to do. Maybe you want to use a magnetic clasp or lobster claw, something that would be a little bit shorter so that it takes up less real estate. And if you make your piece just a little bit too short, when you go to add the clasp on, which we're going to do next, you can actually just take that clasp off. You won't have gone too far past it, and add another unit and then reattach the clasp again. So once you have that initial base area done, then come on back and I will show you how we're going to attach the clasp and our second pass. Let's go ahead and add the first side of our clasp since we're down at that end of the bracelet. I'm going to make just this little teeny tiny Barbie bracelet to show you what's going on here. So I'm coming out the last unit of the crystals that we added. I'm going to go ahead and pick up 3 seed beads, a fire polish, and those are 3mm fire polish, and 3 more seed beads. Then I'm going to pass through the loop, the hole here on my clasp, and I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to pick up another 3 seed beads. Oops, come on, I want the bead to go through the hole. Come on, Buster. Sometimes the beads will move freely through the hole on your clasp, and sometimes they won't. It just depends on your clasp and how big that hole is. In this case, they will move freely, but I still kind of like to do it as half and half anyway. It centers better. So here I'm going to pick up 3 more of the seed beads. I'm going to pass back towards the bracelet through the fire polish. 3 more seed beads. And then now I'm going to pass back through that same tip seed bead from the crystal round. There we go. And now it is all tightened up for us. When we get back to this end again, we will go back and reinforce that whole thread path. But for right now, we could actually just keep moving forward. And that means we're going to pass through a crystal and a seed bead on this outside unit here. And we're going to create, now we're going to work off of the sides. And off of this seed bead here, we're going to pick up 3 more seed beads and then pass back through the seed bead, coming in the direction that you're basically chasing your thread. You're coming in the side with no thread. And then you're going to keep moving forward through the crystal that's straight ahead. You're going to come across this seed bead between the 2 units. So because this is, you just know that it's a horizontal bead. That's how that's sitting. We will go through the seed bead, the crystal and the seed bead on this side. Pick up 3 more of the seed beads. Like I said, don't be afraid to move this around however you need to get the angle on it so that your needle and thread doesn't feel so awkward. So here I'm going to pick up I picked up these 3 seed beads. I'm going to go back through that same seed bead that I came out of, through the crystal that's straight ahead. So now notice that I've got as I'm adding these little pecos, I'm going to be doing it on every other one So we're crisscrossing. The reason we're doing that is because then we're not creating any new thread paths. So then we're going to come across the center, up through the crystal and the seed bead, pick up 3, pass back through that seed bead, through the crystal, and then because I'm on a Barbie bracelet here, as I go through this seed bead on this other outside edge, this is where I would add the second half of my clasp. You're going to attach it just exactly the way you did the first half of the clasp. So I'm not even going to worry about showing that to you. What I'm going to do is keep going around, because after you've attached the second side of the clasp, what you're going to do is now you're going to zigzag back through here the opposite direction and add the picos on the seed beads that don't have them on that outside edge. So it's going to be the exact same thing. I'm passing through the seed bead that I was coming out of, across the center, through the crystal and the seed bead. So now that little one needs a picot. So we'll pick up 3, pass back through that seed bead and the crystal, across, and then up through the seed bead, through the crystal and the seed bead. And now we've got one last little picot here. All right. And that just in and of itself should look familiar. This is the basis of my easy peasy earrings. So if you have done those, you're already ahead of the game here. But go ahead and get that accomplished and come back and we'll show you how to make the last pass on this bracelet. You're almost done with this bracelet or necklace. There's no reason why you can't just keep going with your crystals. I meant to mention that earlier. Keep going and then you get a necklace version. So, and there's one other little variation that I'm going to talk about here in this last pass. So let's get this last pass going here. After you've finished adding picots, zigzagging back, what you're going to want to do is, since you're at the end of the bracelet or necklace, where you attach the first half of your clasp, you'll want to go back and reinforce this whole path here. I'm not going to do it because that would be kind of boring to watch me do it, but you're just reinforcing all of those same beads. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to keep going around, because when you come out of reinforcing it, what you're going to do is move forward through the crystal, and then you're going to want to come up the side of the picot so that you can come out the tip of the picot. And here is where we're going to start adding fire polish in. And I'm actually going to take a quick look at my own instructions here and make sure, let's see here, yes. So what you're going to be doing is picking up a fire polish, a seed bead, and a fire polish. And then you're just going to pass through the tip of the next picot. And you're going to do this all the way along. And look at how gorgeous that just finishes this off so beautifully. So it's a little broken one. A fire polish, a seed bead, and a fire polish. And pass through the tip of the next picot. When you get down to the second end of your bracelet, reinforce that clasp area. And then if you have made a necklace, you're done, because we actually add only the embellishment of the fire polish on one side. That's what allows the piece to actually drape beautifully around your neck. It gives you enough of a curve. When you do the bracelet, what you'll do is you'll reinforce that clasp area. When you come out of the clasp area, you will work your way over to the opposite side of the bracelet, and just like you did before, you work your way up to the tip of this first picot, And then you'll just add this embellishment down this edge. So it's the same thing. Fire polish, seed bead, fire polish, and pass through and go all the way along. Once you get to the opposite end, you will need to end off your thread. And let me actually just do a little quick demo on doing that. So this would be the end of my little teeny tiny bracelet here. What I like to do is move a little ways away from my last bead that I've added. So I'm going to kind of move down into the center here. And then wherever you are, there's going to be threads that are attaching the beads that are there already. And so what I'm doing with my needle is I'm just popping it underneath the threads that are already attaching the beads there. And I'm going to pull down until I have a very small little loop. The smaller your loop is, the better, because if you've got a great big loop, it's more likely to prematurely knot on you and cause a big tangled mess. So once I've got it down to a small little loop, I'm just going to pop my thread straight through, my needle and thread through that loop, and then tighten it on down. I like to tighten nice and slow so that I can make sure that that knot goes right where I want it to, so that it doesn't accidentally say knot over here, so you have thread showing. And that's what's called a half hitch knot. Then I will move a couple of beads away. Doesn't really matter what direction you're going or anything like that, just moving a couple beads away, and I'll do the same thing. So I catch the thread that's already there, pull down so I've got a little loop, pass my needle and thread through the loop. It does not matter which direction. Tighten that loop nice and slow so that the knot goes right down in that intersection. My rule of thumb is 2 to 3 knots, and then I want to move my thread away from that last knot before I clip it. And then I would clip that off, and Barbie's got a new bracelet to wear. So you would do the exact same thing with the necklace. You're just obviously going to use more beads. Now all the details on how many beads you're going to need and the sizing and all that kind of stuff is available for free. I have a free PDF file for you that's available on my website at jillwisemandesigns.com. We have companion kits available for this, so if you want your kit in exactly these colorways. We've got the tanzanite, the dark blue and green, which is my personal favorite, and we've got the turquoise and silver, which is so fabulous for summer. So these are the kits that are available in both bracelet version and necklace version. I hope you had a good time with another free project. I've got a bunch more in my back pocket ready to bring forward for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you're going to see all of the new projects that are coming up. Thanks so much.